Alright, so I've had a lot of messages, people wanting to know why are the National Guard setting up in New York and Chicago and in other places, and they're seeing these convoys, these videos of convoys going from place to place. And I've spoken to many people, and I just want you to rest assured they don't have any orders to do anything other than give out supplies as of right now. And that all those convoys that you saw, the videos of them, most of them were coming from the stockpile that we have, where we keep all the extra supplies, the strategic supplies and everything. So just calm down. People are kind of freaking out. They're just the National Guard. I mean, they're not gonna do anything crazy and if they get orders, I can promise you, if they get orders of anything other than that, I will be the first one to let you know, because I have people that will get the orders at the same time as the National Guard. So y'all don't freak out. They want y'all to freak out. You want to see my shirt? I made this today. Give me liberty or give me death, with the Liberty Bell. But just calm down. I think people want bad news, because I always get way more views with bad news or something like that. But it's nothing going on. I think in Sacramento they put out something about the National Guard helping out with policing. That's possible, but nobody else has orders of that. It's just they don't even have ammunition and stuff. It's just helping out, doing supplies, doing testing. Now, I mean, I guess if people start throwing down and start a civil war, they would have to adjust accordingly. But as of right now, that's not what's going on. Now, we do have some situations that need to be looked at and asked about. So we have a peer-reviewed journal article that is showing that the test, especially the initial test, were giving false positives for 45 to 80% of cases. Hence why so many people just have like no symptoms. And it's great that they're putting out the numbers in most states. They're actually putting out the numbers of people being tested and the positive and negative results. My state, however, wants to hide the negative results, which I find very interesting. Now, why would they want to do that? Probably because they're getting the same type of numbers as other states are. In Oregon, out of the almost 5,000 tests they've done, 97% were negative. Then we have other states, and it's averaging around 8% positive. So they're doing thousands of tests, and these are people that think that they may have it, or, you know, whatever. They're not just, I mean, they might be doing random tests of people, but it doesn't matter. The number is from 3 to 8% positive. They're not talking about that too much on the news. Actually, I mean, I don't really watch the news, but I can't find any big articles, big mainstream media to put that out. It's more of local news, and when you go to the sites that are putting out the medical, like the science sites and stuff like that, But the mainstream media doesn't want to talk about that because it wouldn't fit in with their narrative of mass craziness. Also, something else that people need to realize is there's so many agendas going on right now. We can see that with this stimulus craziness that they are doing, to where the left is trying to push all kinds of things through this stimulus plan that has to do with climate and all of these silly things. First of all, we shouldn't be bailing out any big companies. Let them fail. Let them fail. Casey from his channel, oh my gosh, it just went out my mind. Enter the Stars, that's his channel, put out a great plan, and I'll read that to y'all in a minute, of what we can do to actually make things better. But a little action plan. It's good. It's good. But I just want y'all to know, just calm down. But we need an action plan, because they can't continue doing this and thinking that we should just sit around and cower in some corner because of their silliness and their blatant overreacting. It's both sides, but it's mainly the media, because even if they put out the real numbers now, these, like the percentages I'm telling you about, people are so much in an emotional frenzy that they still won't believe it. I mean, some people will, because, I mean, pretty much most people that I talk to are like, yeah, that this doesn't seems like something else is going on. And yeah, it is. You know, there's a few things. It's to cover up the imploding of the Dow, and, you know, but it was overinflated anyway. We knew this was going to happen. But the thing is, they're just covering up too many things, and then they're just playing politics with all of this, when it's truly affecting so many lives. And finally, the mainstream media, whatever you want to call them, I don't remember who it was, they were talking about how the suicides are going to affect people far more than this silly Kool-Aid 91. That's what we're going to call it now. Kool-Aid 91. And some other odd things. You know, if you haven't seen my videos, ask yourself, why is the mail still running? Why is the mail still running? I'm telling you, if most people with a brain that would be in charge of such a situation would shut down the mail, because that would be the most contaminated thing, but yet we still have the mail running. And of course they're pushing mail-in voting, because that's always the most important thing in a... But anyway, guys, I just wanted to tell y'all to just don't panic. There's no craziness going on, and if there was, I promise you I would be the first one on here telling you about it. Just be aware of your surroundings, and if the National Guard does roll into your city, don't treat them like crap. The same thing with this 5G nonsense, y'all. 5G, I don't agree with 5G at all. But to bring it to the extent that people are saying that it's being secretly installed, maybe at one or two schools, yeah, maybe it possibly is. There has been video footage, and it seems like in Vegas they might be also. But how many people know that 5G has been here for years? It's in Austin. I mean, I could name like 20 cities. It's been here, y'all. Why isn't Austin overrun with cases if this was 5G? That doesn't mean I agree with 5G. I'm just saying the massive panic that people are causing with all of these things. Did y'all see? Some random YouTuber guy was making a video and he decided to take the keys to an electrician, a guy working on, he doesn't even know if he was working on 5G. He's in a truck, you know, one of those the ones that the electricians have with the cherry, are they called cherry pickers? You know, the bucket where they're working up at the top. He's working at the top by himself. This guy gets into the dude's truck and takes the keys to where this man can no longer use his thing to get down. You have to see that not all people are stable. We had someone, a YouTuber-ish kind of guy in Toronto the other day that's been talking about 5G and this virus, and he's been doing things for years, and he's just completely cracked. Caught himself on fire and started stabbing himself. You have to know that don't put out information that you cannot positively point to, because there are unstable people that will take that to an extreme level. I mean, I know people are going to do whatever they want anyway, because fear videos get all the watches. It's sad. It's truly sad. That's why I haven't done the second part of the Lost Tribes of Israel. What's the point? Nobody wants to watch that. Or the information that world-changing history about Antarctica still being connected to South America all the way up to almost 1700. Only a few thousand views on that. It's sad, because so many people that say, oh yeah, I know this is a psyop and I know this, and the mainstream media can't be trusted, and this, and I don't trust, but yet you thrive on it. You thrive on it. Not all of you, but so many. You need to guard your gates. What do I mean by that? Your eyes and your ears. You cannot unsee things. You cannot unhear things. And everything that goes in them makes an impact on you, whether you know it or not. It's always good to know what's going around in your surroundings, but there's a point that it gets overdone. I mean, I would name channels right now that I would stay far, far away from, because that's their entire goal. But I'm not going to do that. I'm sure some people can in the comments. But that's not what I'm trying to do. And it's just, it's almost silly. I mean, it's useless. People have just become so emotionally just, I don't know, it's emotionally draining when you get that way. And I mean, I've done that, you know. It's like, especially with all the children, all that stuff that was, everybody was doing research into the children this, children that, and come to find out it's all, not all of it, but almost all of it is complete nonsense, made up to get people to fall into these rabbit holes. One other thing, just wanted to put this out here. I know so many people have heard of adrenochrome. Yeah, that's a psyop too. You know, Google Chrome? Guess what their other supercomputer that's about to be launched is called? Adrenochrome. You see? Adrenochrome. They had you tweeting it and hashtagging it. And that all helps. It's a quantum computer, so all of that helps them to where they can whatever. I don't understand all that, but every time people were talking about it, it was just helping that supercomputer, helping it. I'll show you a list of the hashtags you need to stay far, far away from, because that's what they're doing with these hashtags. So anyway, let's take a look at Casey's plan and those hashtags. Okay, so these are the hashtags that the quantum computer has been using for years now. And it's years, but then look, moon landing, SARS, Ebola, Marburg, COVID-19. But the main ones that I want you to focus on are those in the middle: Adrena and Chrome. And as you can see, all the hot topics of flat Earth are on there too. It was all created. It helps them to get information whenever you're using that hashtag or talking about this information. It does stuff in the quantum computer, whatever. It's very technical, but they created all of it. Okay, so this is Enter the Stars, his little action plan. After contemplating just how antichrist this quarantine is, I decided to come up with a plan. So he goes into saying that this is, Christ did not quarantine himself. He went with the lepers, the people that had leprosy, and went into these towns and stuff where the sick people were. That's what he specifically did. So this is Antichrist. You see, it's not the Antichrist, but you see what he's saying? Okay, farmers markets are centers of free trade outside the government control. We are coming into a growing season. Let's get back to farmers markets and starve out the corporation control of things, including toilet paper. You don't have to go to Walmart to get that. Costco, Target, none of those places. Sam's Club. Never let them take cash away from us. Cash is not perfect, but it represents freedom and direct trade between you and I. That might be hard, but we can do that. Don't freak out. Landlords will not evict you. And I already know that I've already seen people spreading these supposed emails that they've gotten from landlords. Y'all, that's psychological operation. There's no way, no how, that only a week after this starting, landlords sending out absurd emails like that to it's just absurd. I mean, unless you're already 3 months behind on your rent. Come on now, okay? Just don't fall for everything that you see from somebody sending you an email or look at what they're doing. Think about it, okay? Don't waste food supplies. Don't throw away food. Put it in containers. Oh, I missed a part. So they want you to be in fear and uncertainty. They want you to have to rely on them. That's everything to them. The control is everything to them. They want you in fear and in uncertainty and being like, well, what happens if? What happens if? What happens if? What are they going to do? Threaten you with heaven? When things return back to normal, keep shopping at these farmers markets. Don't just do it now just because. Keep doing it. Go to local grocery stores. Locally owned. Okay, remember, many of God's people were put in prison. He got them through it. Remember, Peter was sleeping in the middle of the people that were about to kill him. The angel had to wake him up. James had already been killed, and they were going to kill him. Peter or Paul? Okay, either way. But drinking water helps for you to stay healthy. Absolutely. When shamed for not quarantining, simply reply, "Me and those in my group do not comply with these draconian lockdowns, but will maintain our distance from others," so as not to respect their fear. Remember, Jesus went out among the sick, and this is our spiritual duty as well. You can't live in fear. What are we going to do? Do this every single time there's some bug? It's silly. We can't. You cannot live like that. You have a much higher chance of dying in a car accident. What are we going to do? Stop driving? Seriously. The numbers just don't add up to the panic. So just think about these things logically and ignore the noise. They want you tuned in all the time to the noise. Another thing you can ask yourself is, are these soldiers immune to this? How come they get to be in large groups and not wear masks? You see? It's not real. Let's see. Yeah, they're rolling through New York and San Diego and Chicago. And they're bringing supplies. They're just the National Guard, y'all. That's what they do. I know we're used to them going to war and stuff. But their job really is to help out with natural and pandemics, disasters, whatever. Anyway, guys, y'all have a wonderful night. Like, share, and subscribe.